is Will. I am with Tesla Club SoCal, and I'm sitting here at this great event with my Tesla Cybertruck. It is a 2024 all-wheel drive Cybertruck with 600 horsepower. I have it wrapped red, kind of a fade to black. It's got all-wheel drive, four-wheel steering. It's on air suspension, so it can be raised up to 17 inches tall, goes all the way down to 5 inches low. Sitting on 35-inch all-terrain tires. And it's called the Foundation Series, so basically it's one of the first trucks that Tesla made, fully loaded. So everything that could possibly come on this truck is on this truck, including full self-driving. I'm a big Tesla fan, I'm a big EV advocate, and when I first saw this truck introduced, I had to have it. I thought, what an amazing look. I know it's completely different than anything on the road, but I just fell in love with it. I think it's, you know, it's futuristic, and I knew if it was built by Tesla, it was going to drive really great. So handling is amazing, the speed and pickup's amazing, charging infrastructure is amazing. This particular truck, I just had it just for the look of it alone. I love being a little bit engaging. I love having people look at the car and have people talk about why I'm an EV advocate and how they can possibly go EV themselves. Back in 2015, I started looking at electric cars for two reasons. One, I want to go in the carpool lane, and two, I wanted to save gas because gas was about $5 a gallon when I was doing that first. I started driving electric, realized all the benefits of electric. There's no oil changes, there's no tune-ups, there's no fuel filter changes, no gasoline, so I can charge at my house with my solar. The speed, the pickup, the fun, the no maintenance on the truck, it's all amazing. So I always tell people I didn't buy the truck to be green, I bought it to save green, but being green has been a great byproduct of that. So I like the fact that, yeah, I'm not polluting when I'm driving the car. I like the fact that I'm not, you know, foreign oil, not required foreign oil and all that kind of stuff. So just the fact it's all good, it's clean power. Well, it doesn't even matter if it's built by coal or whatever, it's all American power. So I'm, in essence, being more American by doing this than having a gas car. My longest trip personally has been from here to the Grand Canyon. So it's a 1,000-mile round trip, but I've been all over the West Coast in this truck as well. But I have friends that have driven from California to Niagara Falls, through Canada and back in these cars too. The infrastructure is pretty robust these days. Back in 2015, when I first bought my first Tesla, it wasn't very robust. You had to really plan your trips out. Now, you can pretty much get anywhere in the United States with the electric car. It's not even with a lot of planning. The car itself will actually tell you where to stop and charge. So you put in destination, and it'll tell you where the charging stops are along the way. Charging is anywhere from 15 minutes to 45 minutes, depending on how much charge you actually need. And people, you know, with your gas car, you take it to the gas station, you always fill up. Well, electric car, you don't actually have to fill up. You just need to get as far as you're going to go to the next stop. So if you're doing a long road trip, if it's 400 miles, let's say, and you're going to stop at the 200-mile mark, you just need enough charge to get to the next 200 miles. So you don't even have to sit there and charge all the way to the top. So if you actually learn what you're doing and kind of plan correctly, you can actually make these charging stops very, very quick. When I first bought the car, my first Tesla in 2015, a little range anxiety because you don't really know what you're doing. But now that I've had cars for 9 years, I have zero range anxiety. I've actually pulled up to charging stations with 0 miles left on multiple occasions because I know I can kind of gauge what the car is going to do. So I've never run out of charge. I've driven over, in 9 years, I've gone over 200,000 miles in electric cars. Never once ran out of a charge. Yeah, so the computer in the car, again, when you do the navigation, it knows exactly where you're going. So it knows if there's an incline or a decline, and it takes all of that into effect. So again, when you're going up a hill, you're obviously pulling more power out of the battery. But then when you're going downhill, you're actually putting power back into the battery because it has a regenerative braking system. So it actually equals out. So my Instagram is F the Pump. So basically, it's, you know, forget the gas pump. I try to make it so that it's kind of more in your face so that I can have these conversations because I want to start conversations around electric mobility. So we did something that was a little bit more, you know, kind of disruptive and in your face to get people to actually have these conversations. And it works great. I love actually talking to people who do not like electric cars, kind of keying them into some of the actual facts versus some of the crazy information that is out there. The information like it goes 100 miles, you got to charge a car for 8 hours. That's actually not true. This car gets over 300 miles range, and when I plug it in at home, yeah, it takes 6 hours, but I'm at home. So I plug it in, I go to bed, I wake up next morning, I get full charge every single day. It's like waking up to a full gas tank every single morning. But when I go on the road again, I just plan out that I know I got to stop, so I'll have lunch during my charging stop. By the time I eat lunch, I get back to the car, I drive away. So really, there's no stopping at all for me. At my house, I have a 40 amp charger in my house. The solar panel, my solar panels in the house is 9.4 kilowatts. I do not have battery backup on the solar yet. It's all grid, powered from the grid. But I do put back to the grid, obviously, and the truck actually can power the grid as well. Yeah, just don't believe all the fake information out there. These cars actually, most electric cars these days get well over 300 miles range, and it works just like your gas car. The faster you go, the faster you drain the power. But in general, real world, you're getting anywhere from 250 to 300 miles range, which is really all anybody ever needs.